All right. Welcome, everybody. This is the Until I Get a Job podcast, where I try to sort out um, the things that are going on with me and the things that are preventing me from employment. I'm going to speak for about an hour just to figure everything out. And hopefully, as I continue to do this, it'll get better. Um, Maybe I'll have some guests. I don't know. But as of right now, this is the first episode. And I'm going to call this one Craigslist. Let me just send a quick text back. Uh, okay. My name is Brennan Weeks. I'm an LA-based stand-up comedian. I've been doing comedy for about 14 years and haven't made the impact that I want. And trying to be a working comedian necessarily has not been going well. So I am starting a podcast to get noticed by the comedy elites to give me more time in the clubs I want to perform in. And I'm hoping that eventually this will go better than it is. And I'm assuming it won't because nothing I do ever bears fruit. And that is fine. Um, I just want to say hello to all my friends and family. If you do decide to support this, nobody will, which is fine. I don't give a fuck. I'm just doing this to be able to speak for an hour and do jokes for an hour in preparation for my special, Age of Debauchery, coming whenever I get it done. So this is a fucking nightmare in and of itself. You can see I'm sweaty and dirty. I have not bathed today. I guess that's the luxury of not having a job is the need to bathe is you don't have to if you don't want to. You can just be shitty and stinky all you want, just sitting around the house being shitty. And I'm sitting in my own mess. I have not cleaned in a long time, and it is wildly apparent that I need to. But the topic of today's show is Craigslist and Craigslist looking for jobs. So far, next week, I'm going to be jerking off into a cup 2 times. I'm jerking off into a cup twice this week, February 6th and February 8th. Just let you know, I'm going to jerk off into a cup and go bring it up to North Hollywood to get examined. I got a gig through Craigslist uh, from a group of people known as Home Care Fertility Testing. And this particular company is interested in sperm and the movement of sperm. And who better to give them moving sperm than me? And so I'm getting paid $150 to jerk off into not one, but two cups so that they can see the motility of my sperm and the direction that my sperm moves in. And that is off Craigslist. I didn't know you could do that, but they're looking for more participants. You can totally sign up for that. I feel like I don't know if it's a great idea, but um, I don't have for sperm. I have plenty to give away. So there's that. Other jobs on Craigslist, I've just had 2 interviews for positions that are totally below what I'm worth. And that's fine. Not everybody can see your value. And you know how that goes. Jobs is you could be an amazing creative. You could be the hero of your own story. And yet you have to shovel shit for a living. And there's no way around that, right? We all have to shovel shit every once in a while. And, it may not be the best, but you have to do it. Craigslist has been a double-edged sword for me. I've gotten a lot of weird jobs in Craigslist in between jobs that I've gotten through references from people that care about me. There's a difference. You can get jobs from people who care about you, who will give you the job that you can hold on to for a long time. And then there's Craigslist jobs, which do not care about you and would rather see you waste away or disintegrate over time very slowly. Either way, they're sadistic and they appreciate all of that. For me, Craigslist has helped uh, just to get a couple $100 here and there. I've gotten security jobs from that where I stand around and watch other people have fun and get paid to do that. That's a great job. Worked at a festival, a really shitty festival that no one came to, which was nuts. That was downtown in the arts district. I was a security guard down there for, I think it was called the Moonlight Festival. A wonderful organizer. She was very sweet, super scatterbrained, and you could tell because it was not promoted well. I think maybe besides the performers themselves, probably 10 people showed up to this 6 to 8 hour long festival, which just showed a cattle call of bands and people coming in from all over the country to perform for 10 people. I met a bunch of talented musicians and singers and rappers who flew in from as far as Hawaii and as far as from like Charlotte, North Carolina, to come to a warehouse in downtown Los Angeles following their dreams to literally perform for 10 people who didn't give a shit who they were. So that in and of itself, I guess, is what Los Angeles and Hollywood gives you, is these false expectations that there's this golden ticket that you're going to hit. And that's why I'm doing this podcast to see if that happens for me. And I don't think it will, which is fine. It's fine because I'm doing the work, I guess, to get there. Again, this is me practicing for speaking for an hour to see how well I can do it. There is a lot on my plate in terms of getting a job. I need a job. And I have been scouring the internet and all different forms of what jobs are. And no one's hiring or getting back to me. And I don't know if I need to cut my hair, maybe to look a little bit more professional. I've appreciated my depression ponytail. I've not cut my hair since my divorce in 2021. And so I have kept my hair out. It's kind of my rebellion. And when I feel ready, or when a woman tells me I need to cut it, then I should cut it. But as of right now, no woman who I have slept with has told me to cut my hair. So I think it's something I'm going to keep until I'm ready to do so. Back to Craigslist. Other jobs I've had on Craigslist this year. Let's see. Besides the security gigs, the sperm bank, the 2 interviews. I apply to a lot of talent gigs and modeling and headshots, and it's interesting trying to navigate Craigslist because you can kind of see scams coming from a mile away. Actually, the current place I'm living in, I actually found off Craigslist. For apartment hunting, I don't think, you have a wealth of different brokering sites and everything, but Craigslist gets rid of all that, where you just have to go talk to the toothless monsters that are landlords, and then you sign your life away to inhabit squalor. And to be fair, I'm okay. This looks kind of nice, right? You don't see how awful how the conditions I've created for myself, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. And I enjoy my roommates. I think they're great people. And it's been fine, even if there's been water damage, drainage blocks, and insane neighbors notwithstanding. We have a crackhead, or I think he loves coke. I'm not really sure, but either way, he's probably has bipolar or some kind of disease where he is somewhat insane, and that's fine. I'm not hating on anybody who has disease, but he is next door, and we just kind of deal with that. Actually, we used to be close, and then he kind of switched up, and that's a little weird. So this podcast is probably not going to be successful, but at least it allows me to have the time to speak for a very long time, at least to myself, and I'm happy to do so. I'll probably this mic next time to see if that would work. I signed up for therapy on Craigslist. That's something else I thought was interesting. I signed up for therapy, and I have a month free of therapy starting February 9th. I was able to get a BetterHelp promo code, and some Eastern European guy sent me $240 to my Zelle in which to pay for this therapy. Not sketchy at all. I did not know that's what you could do. And the way they did that was quite interesting. So, I think I needed therapy in order to see that that probably was a sketchy decision. And that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Uh, uh, I'm wondering what I need from this. Besides the fact of practicing, I've stated that outright, and I'm already up to maybe 12 minutes, but 11 minutes of me digging around to get the stamina to keep speaking for an hour in a way that's still funny for everyone around me. This is also better than I think an open mic where I would be talking for 5 minutes to people who also don't give a shit about me. So at least the opportunity for more people to not give a shit about me is apparent. I don't know anything about promotion. I don't know how any of this will go out. It's just that I'm going to figure it out when I get there. And thank you, whoever's watching. I'm hoping uh, different state actors at some point will review this video way after I'm gone and know the greatness that I am uh, at this time right now that no one actually recognizes, which is okay. If you're just joining, my name is Brennan Weeks. I'm from upstate New York. Upstate New York Craigslist is very different than Los Angeles Craigslist. Upstate New York Craigslist, I feel, was probably more useful, especially for clandestine sexual activities. Uh, to be honest with you, I definitely explored my sexuality via Craigslist in the early 2000s. I feel like that was a time that was before Grinder, that was before Tinder, that was you looking for love in obviously the wrong place. And I feel that Craigslist definitely have probably been responsible for several murders, but we don't know if that's real. And I've enjoyed having the time to kind of reflect on those days. And I remember on Craigslist, there was all kinds of wild things. You could post anything you wanted on Craigslist. During that time, it was the wild west of the internet, and I for sure definitely was enmeshed in that world. Um, yeah, Craigslist definitely was the place. I look for free shit all the time to see if I need it, and most of the time I don't, and that's okay. And I'm getting tired, and my stomach hurts, so I think I'm going to end it here. It's 15 minutes only, which is kind of like a long set that I've been doing. Maybe I can push it to 20 before I have to poop, and that's fine. Uh, this is a fucking nightmare. I feel like I'm trapped without a job, and I really just need employment. And this is the only avenue where I think that's going to happen. And it's weird how there's no more physical jobs or mechanical jobs or something where I can learn a skill on the job and they'll hire anybody just to get the job done. And there's nothing like that anymore. You can't just walk onto a job site and be like, hey, give me a hammer. I'll just start hitting as long as you pay me a reasonable wage, like $26 an hour. That'd be great. There's no jobs like that where you can just do that. You have to go through all this red tape and the applications and the certifications, and you have to go get the fingerprints, and you have to go get the disease thing. And it's like, don't we live in a modern 21st century fucking existence? Why the fuck do we have to do all these steps just to work? And it just blows my mind why there's no greatness in America ever, and ever has been since probably the end of World War II. And there's nothing. I bet we were fed lies in World War II. I mean, there's probably a whole bunch of bullshit, that we didn't take into consideration. Um, so it's just like, this is definitely awful, and I feel like there's nothing um, I can do to stop it except start a podcast about my shitty employment history. And let's get back to Craigslist. I got a job in 2009, 2010, where I worked for a tutoring company. And that was basically a scam of grant funding because the woman that I worked for was batshit crazy. And she decided to open this tutoring company. I went to this job fair over in Compton, and it was a really bad looking situation. Um, you go into this kind of like circular thing. I think it was at an elementary school, and you had to get like chosen. And as soon as this woman saw me, she was like, "You," and I knew my life was changed at that point because she was, very in the beginning, very disarming. She's a very short, stout woman, very granola crunchy. I think I remember her wearing maroon corduroy pants before maroon corduroy pants became a fashion statement. She was wearing them out of comfort. And I remember Birkenstocks and socks. That was her steez. And she uh, gave me the job to be a tutor for children in Compton group homes. And we were supposed to teach them a game of life skills that was very similar to Dungeons and Dragons. And so that was something I was like, fuck it, sure, I need to get paid. So I got paid, I believe at the time, $14 an hour to learn how to play a game very similar to Dungeons and Dragons, but not necessarily called Dungeons and Dragons. And I think about it now, and I'm still in that boat of looking for a stupid job that is entertaining, at least to talk about later. And this particular gig was pretty intense. I went to this one apartment house in Compton where this martial arts master lived. He was martial arts. I'm not sure master. He was a black belt, but it was a black dude, black belt, and he had an interracial family. His wife was very beautiful, I remember, and he had two very wonderful kids that were babies at the time. And we went into his house, and on his tables there were massive dioramas of all different climates and regions, and you could see like a jungle area and a big grassy field that he hand painted all himself. And he had little avatars, little characters that were hand painted, and he set all these up in a kind of a fashion for us to choose, and what would our heart tell us, or what would our soul tell us to choose these little diorama figures to play Dungeons and Dragons. And he put them on the board, and he started off the game. And from what I remember, a lot of it involved a lot of Tai Chi. In order to move our pieces, we had to go outside or to go into the other room. And if we rolled a 20, we would have to do 20 breaths or something, or 20 physical moves to get us to proceed over the board. And the actions that were there, if like we needed to go and like fight an animal, we would practice the fighting moves with the sticks, whatever they're called, um, the Kenbu sticks. And we would, the game was pretty involved. I think it was 4 days. We did 12-hour shifts of playing this game and got super invested in our lives. And so we would show up every day for 4 fucking days straight to play this game, to teach to children. That was the objective. And I remember the last day we played, we watched the granola crunchy woman, my boss, literally have a mental break, and we saw her multiple personality disorder in real time when she started fighting every person or every character we came in contact with. And watching her say the word fireball 10 times in a row, screaming it, even though we were talking to, I would say, probably a tavern keeper or a barkeep. And we'd be like, "Why are you doing that?" And she would say fireball to us and try to light us on fire. And just seeing that mental break in your employer and realizing that there's no safety net kind of puts a little chill down your spine when you know your economic prosperity is in their hands. And that is terrifying to go through. Um, so the tutoring company quickly dissolved after that. I think after that day, after we finished playing and we completed our main missions, and we had the end of we had a ceremony where he would tell us what our personality types were and how we would maneuver around the board. There was a lot there to unpack of his observations and who we were, and seeing how our boss was kind of gently told about her issues and how she reacted to them. It was very apparent that this wasn't a good job and that we were all kind of suckered into it, and that kind of sucked. So I was left after that gig pretty um, pretty wounded. It wasn't like I was emotionally hurt by it, but uh, it felt like there was no closure. And I feel like I can only talk about it in this way. So that makes sense. And I think I'll put a pin in that. Um, oh, epilogue. I guess she was investigated by the IRS, but she fled to Seattle with the last remaining couple $100 of her funds. And she, I guess, started a new business up in Seattle. And I don't know what's gonna become of that. So I don't know what happened to her, how she lived her life in the end. Um, I just know she was a scam artist and a grifter, and I was along for the ride for that. So there's that. Um, I've made a lot of friends off Craigslist. I ended up in my journey actually finding this apartment. I ran into this one very sweet woman, same age as me, I think. She's also mixed race, and we flirted quite a bit. And she actually had a boyfriend. So once I found that out, I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. But she wanted me to live with her. She wanted to hang out. And I think she braided my hair once. And we were going to be really close. And then realizing that like none of it was going to happen because of how batshit crazy she was. It's very interesting when you meet someone off Craigslist and you find out you're less crazy. And I'm just wondering what that is. Why do crazy people post on Craigslist and not crazy people apply to those things? It's just a weird power struggle of desperation of like you needing something that a crazy person has. Are crazy people more successful? Because if that's the case, like I'm willing to fucking switch sides. And I don't know when that's possible because I definitely need to maneuver better to become more successful. And if that requires to become crazy, then that's fine, I guess. Um, I just, yeah, the experience of Craigslist and what that means. I think that's it for jobs. I'm not sure. There's probably more jobs on Craigslist that I could talk about. And I could probably do quite a bit of material. I think maybe I have about 5 to 10 minutes of material with those stories that could work. But yeah, I'm still. I need a fucking job. I need a fucking job, and I got. It's the only way I can bitch about it is by doing this and to train myself to speak for an hour and seeing that it's only been 25 minutes and I'm actually getting kind of fatigued is very telling, um, that I'm going to probably have to put in some more effort into getting ready for my special and to not be so cavalier about it because I'm going to need to stack all of my material to get to this point of being successful in what I need to do. So I'm going to end it here because I have a headache and I need a cigarette and I need some water and I'm sweating balls. And I'll probably improve this over time. So thank you so much for joining me. This has been Up Until I Need a Job. This has been Until I Need a Job by Brennan Weeks. And